Hello, gorgeous people. Thanks for coming to my channel. Thanks for all your support. This video is slightly different than what I talk about, but it's something that's close to my heart because my son was severely bullied at school in Norway. And the school refused to do anything about it. I had to get the police involved. My son lost so much weight and he used to hate going to school. So please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to help the channel grow. But I would like to engage in these things because the school should be an environment where you as a parent send your child to learn, to get knowledge about all sorts of things, but also it's supposed to be a positive environment for them to develop relationships. Now, the teachers there, the principal, have the responsibility to ensure the safety of the children in that environment. But I see nowadays, for example, and I'm not saying this is only in the United States. Right now in the UK, there was this girl, this black girl, who punched the hell out of this white girl. A while back, there was an outrage because a white girl bullied a black girl in the UK, and everybody was up in arms. We have here the black girl beating the crap out of this poor white girl, and nobody says anything. And this is outrageous because it sends the wrong message. I don't like the word bullying because it lets off the hook the criminality of the act. Okay, we just saw a girl in Berkeley. I don't know how old she is. It's all over the news, but my heart goes out to her parents that she took her own life, because, and people are filming this. People are filming, the students around here are filming it instead of intervening to stop it. They film it and they post it online thinking it's cool. So it gives me to me as a parent, it gives me two things. One, once the parents find out, because this is all over online, the parents find out that their kids are bullies and are doing these horrible things. Why don't they, what are these parents doing that this is not stopped? Number two, the teachers, especially, there's another case which is very famous, this 12-year-old boy punching the crap out of this little girl, 9-year-old girl in Florida. And all the kids, I don't even know if they're chanting or egging it on, but they're filming it. Where is the bus driver there? And then I read in the articles that they say, oh, you know what? It's okay, we can't do anything. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. That's declining responsibility. I believe, and these are all my thoughts and opinions, that children that are capable of punching and doing all these things, along with the teachers who allow it or the adults around it, responsible for the safety of the other children, should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, especially the adults, because it is the teacher's duty to see any form of abuse or assault. When something is physical, that is no longer bullying, that is assault. And that 12-year-old who was punching the crap out of the 9-year-old girl, that girl that committed suicide because she was bullied at school, I can only imagine how hopeless, I feel like crying because I can only imagine how hopeless it felt for her to know that nobody was looking out for her safety, not wanting to go to school to learn in that environment. And to me, the authorities are failing children. The authorities, the teachers, the school, no matter how underfunded they are. You know what? Bullying should be a zero tolerance policy. If you bully somebody verbally, physically, you're out. There's no need to send you to a psychologist. You're out. The minute they start enforcing zero tolerance to violence, we will see a change. But in the meantime, everybody's washing their hands off. The parents, the kids who post these violent videos as though they're fun. Where is the moral compass of the parents, of the bullies, and the teachers and the principals of the schools? You know what? Another thing that's going to probably help If you find out that if a parent finds out that their child is a bully and they do nothing to stop it, I think that the parent should be charged too. Because at the end of the day, the parent is responsible for the thing. And I know this sounds very, very terrible, but we have children killing themselves because of the horrible bullying, and everybody washing their hands off the whole affair. You know, why? Schools should be a place for learning, for growing, for forging positive relationships with others, to make people a better human beings. Instead, we see violence, we see glorified violence being rewarded. I mean, what is going on? And it's not only in the United States, but apparently in the United States it's more rampant, or because people have more phones, it's more prone to violence. But in Canada, I don't hear that much about it. In Nicaragua, I don't hear much about it. In Norway, my son was a victim of it. He lost so much weight. It was really, really terrible for him. And I went to the school principal who dismissed it. And you know what her answer was? Not only she went to the child. The child was like 200 pounds. It was a big guy, and it was a little kid. I mean, and what she did is she sat Henrik next to this big giant kid, the one that was bullying, and told the big giant bully that Henrik had accused him of bullying. And Henrik couldn't eat, he couldn't go to school, and I felt so helpless as a parent. And this same kid bullied a very white child, a very, what they call in Norway, a real Norwegian, because Norway is the only country in the world that makes the difference, a very distinct difference, between a real Norwegian and a Norwegian. My son is a Norwegian because he's not white, Aryan looking boy. I have a Norwegian citizenship, but I'm not what they call ekte norsk. I'm not a real Norwegian. And they make the distinction. So this real Norwegian boy was bullied by the same other Norwegian boy, the big Norwegian kid that had been bullying my son. And matters were dealt with immediately. I had to get the police involved because nobody wanted to do anything to protect Henrik. And instead, they looked at him and they looked at me as troublemakers because my son was terrified, scared of going to school. He missed so many days of school. So the principals of the school, or directors, I don't know how you want to call them, but the teachers of the school have a huge responsibility. And you know what? If they start expelling those bullies or those abusive, violent teens, or whatever you want to call them, you will have less trouble at school because you'll get rid of those kids. They are not the school problems. At the school, there should be a place of peace, respect, and growth. I mean, please leave me your comments, but why are they still calling it bullying? That a girl felt that her only way out was to commit suicide. That another 9-year-old is being punched by a 12-year-old and everybody's filming it and nobody's stepping in to stop it. And that the teachers of the Berkeley school, and at that 9-year-old, where the 9-year-old girl went to school with, that she was punched in the school bus, that the teacher said, oh, that's just too much violence and we can't handle it. Then expel those fuckers. Have the police involved. Have them sent to whatever, out of the school. They don't belong in a school environment if they can't be decent human beings. And because they don't show them any boundaries, there's no consequences to their punishment. It only escalates. And I've been saying all along that abusive people, violent people, their behavior escalates when not stopped. So if for any of you teens, you know what? Go to the police. If the school is not listening to you, go to the police. Take online airwaves. Call your whatever it is that you need to call. Make a big fuss. Go to TikTok and say, name these people. You know, like say their names. And if you find their address, find it and say, this is who bullied me. Shame them. Because clearly the school is not doing anything to these abusive teens, to these violent teens who actually belong either at a reform place or in jail, along with the parents who are not monitoring this behavior, and the teachers who are washing their hands off of all of this. Please let me know what you think. And for all the teens, you know what? If it's not your fault, but don't take the violence lying down. Don't take the violence lying down. Go to the police. Get to TikTok. Do your social media, and people will hear you. Reach out to us YouTubers, and we will shame them. Send me their names. Send me the videos, and I'll post them here, and I'll shame those guys. Because, it's pretty terrible. It is a very sad thing. And I just don't understand how teachers can wash their hands off, how they're not put in jail for watching that behavior. The bus driver watching the 9-year-old being punched like that did not interfere. How people have the time to take the phones out to film it, but don't have the heart and the humanity to step in. Because there were more around the 12-year-old that was punching the 9-year-old girl. There were more people around the girl that was being punched and it was being filmed. The little girl that killed herself. And yet nobody did anything to help. That is disgusting. And I think those people should be held accountable too, because I think it's illegal. It's a Good Samaritan law, and it applies in the United States as well, everywhere in the world. So the people who film it and don't do anything about it should be held accountable too, because they should be taught that that is not right. Instead of filming, yeah, to have evidence, but then interfere and take the person and report it. I don't know. What do you guys think?